Hey guys, I'm Kelsey and today I want to talk about my story and why I support anti-bullying. But first, I want to tell you some facts about me so you get to know me, and I want you to comment at least one fact about you so I get to know you too. So I'm 20 and I turned 21 on October 8th this year, but I don't feel like an adult at all. I'm a pastry baker in training for almost a year now. I started with YouTube 6 years ago with music videos. But since 3 years, I post vlogs on a weekly basis, mostly on my main channel. I grew up in a small town in Germany, but my parents lived in Texas before they had me, and I kind of feel like I'm more American than German. I have one older sister, but she doesn't like to be on YouTube at all. That's why you're probably never gonna see her. My bullying story starts all the way back in elementary school, and kids would pick on me because I was different. I was really sensitive and shy, and I've always been a bit weird. They would laugh at me, which actually made me even more insecure, and I was even more scared to be myself. And when I went to middle school, things got worse instead of better. I thought the kids wouldn't like me for who I was because it didn't work in elementary school. So I kind of made up crazy stories that obviously weren't true, so I maybe would look cooler in their eyes and they would start to like me. But well, the opposite happened. My stories were so crazy that of course everyone could tell I was lying, and I just couldn't stop. And that's when I got addicted to lying, kind of. When I was 11, my parents got separated. They're still not divorced till this day, but it hit me hard. I thought it kind of was my fault, but when I found out my dad had a new girlfriend, I was so mad, and we still don't come along until this day. When I was 12, I got into a huge fight with girls who I would call my best friends back then, and for a whole weekend they would pick on me constantly. They would send me mean text messages, they would call me and say mean things to me. And that got to the point where I actually self-harmed myself for the very first time. I knew it was wrong and I knew it was dangerous, but I just found a way how I could let the anger inside of me out, and it worked for me. Over my teenage years, my dad and I got in really huge fights every damn time I saw him, and it just made the anger inside of me grow bigger and bigger. What I didn't know back then, I already suffered from borderline syndrome and depression from my early teenage years. But you can only diagnose borderline syndrome after puberty because they kind of got the same symptoms. When I was 13, I started to become emo. I guess I didn't really know what exactly it was, but I kind of liked their style and that they were different. I liked their hair and their makeup and their clothes. And I kind of liked that they got hated on by everyone, because I felt like everyone hated me too. So why not provoke these people even more? And it worked. Every new class I came in, they would bully me because I was different. They thought I was stuck up. Little they knew I actually tried to hide that I had no self-esteem and that I was really insecure. Since I couldn't really stop telling stories until the age of 16, of course I got bullied for that, and I understand people that they bullied me because of that. I get it, because it was stupid. But they'd also bully me for my makeup, my hair, or even that I self-harm. Because when I was in middle school, it was kind of that everyone tried to self-harm, and you couldn't really tell who was doing it because it was this new cool thing and who really had problems. Back then, they just didn't know that there was a real mental problem with that. And they would also hate on me for making videos on YouTube. I was a joke, I was the weirdo, I was the one who tried to be internet famous and failed. They were laughing at me and they were telling me I would never ever be successful on YouTube. Maybe they're right, but at least I do what I like. When I was 16, I had to go to a different school because my grades were really bad. And this time I told myself I will not make up stories and I won't tell them about my YouTube account. Well, I still got bullied because of my style. I wore band shirts, I wore skinny jeans, Converses, and dark makeup, which people did not really like. But I also got bullied because I was singing in the school band. In my last year of high school, I actually thought about leaving school. I was so depressed at the time that I couldn't really make it out of bed, and I always had a problem with that, but I actually skipped school because of stomachache or headache 2 days every week for almost a whole year. When my ex-best friend, who was also in my class, turned her back on me, I thought about not going to school anymore. But I made it. I graduated in 2012, and when I couldn't find a job for almost a year, that's when YouTube kind of saved me. In the same year, I started uploading vlogs on my main channel. And from the first video I uploaded, I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber. But I did not think it would be that hard. I uploaded more and more videos, and I waited for the millions of subscribers and views, but they never came. Slowly I realized that I had to do videos for myself, not only for other people. And that's, I think, when my videos got better, because you could see that I was having fun. But we all know YouTube, and we all know that there's a lot of hate in the comments. In the beginning I wore dark makeup and a lot of makeup. I wouldn't do that anymore, but back then I thought I looked cool. I didn't. And of course people commented things on that, but they would find anything to hate on. It was not easy at all for me to ignore those words because they would hurt me. In 2014 I had a really hard time, and my mental health was almost at zero, and I even attempted suicide. Back then I was so mad at myself that I couldn't even do that thing right, but today I'm actually glad that I couldn't do it, and I think there's a reason for that. Last summer I went into a treatment clinic for 11 weeks, and I got diagnosed with borderline syndrome, an eating disorder, and a spider phobia, and kind of a social phobia, besides the already diagnosed depression. To this day I still struggle with self-harm and the eating disorder, but I really can say that the treatment clinic kind of saved my life, and I'm really thankful for that. The clinic kind of showed me that there's a reason why I'm alive and why I went through all this stuff. And that's when I realized that I actually want to help other people who suffer from mental illnesses or who got bullied. I'm the living proof that you can get through anything, no matter how helpless, sad or alone you feel. There's always a way through the dark times. I really tried to make my story as short as possible. In those 20 years of my life I really went through a lot of stuff. Maybe I'll make another video if you want me to. Comment below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and if you're still watching, I don't know. And comment below if you want to tell me your story. If you don't want to tell me in the comments but you still feel like you have to get it off your chest, send me an email to yebbusiness@gmail.com, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to join me and fight against bullying. Bye!